in 2020 was when I first started writing because I got tired of people on the outside looking in, thinking that they knew me, but they really didn't. So it was like the first time I felt like I wanted to write and actually advertise myself in a deeper way.
Breaking the silence, taking the dive in. Nikki pulling strings like she playing the violin. Made in his likeness, radiant vibrance. Give them all glory, ain't no way to deny it. She gon' make you laugh, she gon' stimulate your mind. Making things shake, she ain't in no wasting time. They can come close but can't imitate the grind. Got a different way to illustrate and innovate designs. BTS podcast, gotta watch that. Teaching us the game, that mean Nikki got class. If you watch it once, you gon' wanna stop back. This an opportunity that you cannot pass. Unleash your inner voice, cause better days coming. Better days, get ready for better days. Better days, better days. Better days, get ready for better days. Better days, better days.
When we find courage to speak, we give others permission to heal. Welcome to the Breaking the Silence podcast, the podcast where I share stories that inspire, empower, and help you find your voice. I am your host, Arthur Nikki Nicole, and each week I sit down with some incredible guests who are turning their pain into purpose and making an impact in this cruel, cruel world. So today I'm honored to welcome Miss Brittany Thomas, an author, motivational speaker, and a nominee for the Distinguished Authors Guild led by Miss Gina Gasson. So, after her countdown, please welcome this amazing woman to the platform.
We'll be just fine. We'll be just fine.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for coming and supporting my platform, and it's an honor to put you in the spotlight.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be a guest.
Awesome. So tell everybody a little bit more about yourself that I didn't already tell them.
Okay, my name is Brittany Thomas. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm 28 years old. I am a entrepreneur. I am a motivational speaker. I am an author, of course. I have 2 books. I'm Living My Blessed Life with Cerebral Palsy and Don't Let the Wheelchair Fool You. Overcoming Obstacles to Greatness. As a matter of fact, Don't Let the Wheelchair Fool You is the one that got nominated for the award show this year. And so I'm excited to talk about that. It's my children's book. And I'm also the executive director and founder of Jets Angels Incorporated, my nonprofit organization where we help people with disabilities go on their dream vacation. We help them and provide advocacy and awareness for them as well, vehicles for them, whatever it is that they might need, we do it.
That is amazing. See, I didn't know you had a nonprofit.
Yes.
That's amazing. I'm also in North Carolina too. I'm in Fayetteville.
Oh, wow. You're not too far from me.
Not too far. Not too far. So tell me, when did you fall in love with the pen and the paper?
Back in 2020 was when I first started writing because I got tired of people on the outside looking in, thinking that they knew me, but they really didn't. So it was like the first time I felt like I wanted to write and actually advertise myself in a deeper way. But I actually wrote "Don't Let the Wheelchair Fool You" in 2021, and it's a book talking about uh children, well, not children, me specifically, having a disability, but the things that I do for fun, as a matter of fact, like getting in the pool, going on go-karts, basically still showing people that I can do normal things like everyone else, but the equipment that I use on an everyday basis, like there's something that you can use to actually help me get in the pool a little bit easier. So I feel like not only a lot of children can benefit from this, but adults as well.
Wow. So I didn't know that. If you would
Mm.
have told me that, I wouldn't have known that either. So you get to do anything, anything anybody else wants to do as well. But you just have to have certain equipment to do it.
Right.
Nice. So now, when you wrote your next book, I'm blessed. I'm living my blessed life. What brought
Yes.
about that book?
That is actually my autobiography. That book talks about like my life all the way from middle school, high school, college, and dating. It talks about some of the struggles that I had to go through. And specifically in high school, this is the one I always like to highlight because it was a significant blessing in my life, is when they told me that I wouldn't graduate with my diploma in 12th grade. But I pressed through. I actually had to take some classes called Occupational Course of Study, and it's where you actually had to go off campus and do volunteer work and gain a certain amount of hours to be able to actually graduate with a diploma. And also too, they actually signed a waiver for me because the requirements were you had to have a job, and I couldn't get a job. So then when I was in 10th grade, I started my uh bead business. That explains why my website is Brittany's Beads and Books. I actually started making beads at the age of 16, and what I do with those bracelets, I just put the beads on them and then put all kind of like motivational sayings or whatever else people want on them.
Nice. Okay, because yeah, I was gonna ask that. I saw that about your website. I was like, now what does the B stand for? So you customize bees? Like if somebody come to you and say, I want this to say this, do you customize them too?
Yes, I sure do.
Yeah. So what was that moment in your life, that you think unlocked that author in you? Because everybody starts off writing. Like I started writing when I was like maybe two, maybe 3, 4, 5 years old. I was very young, right? But I didn't know at the time that I was going to be an author one day. So what was that moment that unlocked the author in you?
I tell people all the time, like, you know how people talk about purpose. I feel like it was a part of my purpose. So oftentimes when I think about purpose, I think this is what I tell people or ask people. I ask people this one question: what is that thing that gets on your nerves or frustrates you so bad that you know it won't be solved until you do it? So I think I was just in a moment where, I got frustrated. People looking at me in a certain way. They have this stigma, or they have this unrealistic expectation. So I think that, once I got frustrated enough, I was like, let me just go ahead and write this.
Wow. So now do you have to, when it comes down to you writing, do you have to be in a certain, area like music, or you have to, like some people, they can be riding the car and a thought just come to them and boom, they write it down.
Okay.
They got a book.
So for me, this is how I always explain it. God gives me dreams and God gives me visions. So at that moment, how I was able to write my book is that God actually gave me a dream one day showing me how to format it and actually write it. And it wasn't like I was able to sit down and write all day until I finished. But what God does with me, he gives me a little bit at a time. And every time he would give me something, I would write it. And so then that's how I wrote the whole book. And a lot of people don't know this, but when I wrote my first book, I didn't have a computer, so I wrote my first book on my phone. Downloaded the Google Docs app on my phone and wrote it. So I think that was a factor too. Like, wow, if she can do it on her phone, nobody else has any other excuse why they can't write a book.
Right. No excuse. If you did the entire book and formatted
Yes,
it on the phone.
yes,
Yeah, nobody else got no excuse. So
right.
when you face like writer's block, do you ever like go through writer's block and
Mhm.
you're in doubt? What kept you moving even then? What kept the pen moving when you had some writer block going on?
Again, much prayer. I'll say for me, silence, consecration, meditating on the word. Also maybe asking family and friends like different ideas, kind of helping me like map out some things. You know how like when we were in school, we did like the circle and the brainstorm, and you just sat there and write. So that's what I did. I pulled up a grid, and I typed out my few points, and I said, this is how I can formulate this into a chapter. I can write about this, and this, and that made it a little easier. Almost like kind of putting in sequential order.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But that's how I write too. I thought I was the only one that still did that. But it helps though, because it helps you like brainstorm
Yes,
what you want to put in. Like you said, it puts it in order and it makes sense when you're done. So it might take
yes,
a little bit longer, but it works. Works.
yes.
So you wrote your book, I'm living my blessed life. What did
Mhm.
you have to heal from or face or release to finish that book?
Well, I will say writing that book at first was kind of hard because it was kind of like I had to relive some things. Because I was bullied in school, especially middle school. I was bullied by a girl, and she she would bully me for no reason because she thought that I was talking about her. As a matter of fact, I think that she had some sort of mental disability herself, that caused her to think that way. But she ended up, as a matter of fact, she ended up slapping me. Um, just one day while I was at school for no apparent reason. So that was kind of hard to relive just thinking about that, because that can be kind of devastating. Me having cerebral palsy and being in a wheelchair and not really being able to, fight for myself. I cried not because I was scared of what she did, but because of the fact that I was mad and angry that I could not fight for myself. So during that time, I had to write that part and relive that part, and some of those past emotions came back up. And then also too, where some of the teachers would show favoritism to the other students. I also battled that, and then them not challenging me enough, them thinking that I can't do certain things. So in that book, I really just had to heal from, I'm not who the teachers say I am. I'm who God says I am. And once I got through that, I was able to finish. Because God said to me, even though it hurts, even though it's frustrating, this book has to be written, because it's not about you. At the end of the day, somebody else needs to hear your story.
Absolutely. Wow. I hate you had to go through that. But you know what? I'm glad you're telling this story because it may help other people out there as well that went through a similar situation because, like you said, you couldn't defend yourself. And that
Right,
was the hardest part about that situation. So now,
right.
after you bring all these emotions out, how did you finally just, go back in? Because you got to come back to yourself even after you open up those wounds. How do you close those wounds back after writing?
Um, Again, I think I just had to remind myself everything that, and I have to remind myself to this day, everything that I go through, it's not for something that I did, it's for God's glory. So I think I always just have to look at the bigger picture, like what is God really trying to tell me? What is God really trying to get the message to be through me? So I think it just comes out to not complaining and just being grateful and knowing that greater is on the other side.
But I believe that God gave each of us our own story for a reason because He knew who could handle what and who couldn't handle what. So
Yes.
his strongest soldiers got the toughest battles we be going through. But that's all
Yes.
right. That's all right. He knew we can handle it. So
That's
he
right.
knew when he gave you your story that you could handle your story, you can handle yourself, and one day you would tell your story. So
Right.
look at it as that way. You are blessed.
Yes.
So now when readers read one of your books and they close that book after finishing it, what do you want them to still echo in their minds?
Number one, that they are made in the image of God. Number two, it can educate. Both books can educate a lot of adults and children because there are people out there who know no idea, have no idea about what cerebral palsy is, where it comes from, the things that it causes, and also that there's more than one type of cerebral palsy. I have what you call spastic cerebral palsy, where it affects my bones. It's very important that I have therapy and movement and mobility. That's very important. If I don't, my bones stay tight, they stay tensed up, they hurt, and everything like that. So spasticity, it has a lot to do with tone and with the nervous system. So sometimes even like loud noises or different things can cause me to like jump or startle easy, but that's because of the nervous system. And also too, one other thing, cerebral palsy a lot of times can cause you to be premature. I was born at 27 weeks, um 2 pounds 7 ounces. So, and I had a twin. Her name was Brianna. She didn't make it. So that can also happen as well.
I'm so sorry for your loss. Um, so you
Yeah.
so you had a twin. Did she make it? Or did you make it with you for a little while? Or you?
She was already gone in the womb. As a matter of fact, my mom didn't even know she was having twins.
Oh wow.
Uh-huh.
Oh wow. But I didn't know it was different types. I didn't know that. I just learned something new. I didn't know it was different types. So what's the other types that? How many types are they?
um I mean, I really don't know the other types, but I mean, I do know that some people can't uh talk or walk. Some people have to use like a feeding tube. Some people can walk. They might just, like, I have one friend who can walk. She literally has cerebral palsy in only one leg. Some people only have it in their arm, so it varies.
Wow, interesting, interesting. So now, with you wearing so many hats, your author, motivational speaker, intercessor, prophetess, how did your journey into ministry and purpose begin?
Um Well, 4 years old. That's the significance behind the song. I believe I can fly, because when I was 4 years old, I actually, I'm very active in church. So I grew up going to Chappelle Memorial Baptist Church here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Pastor Norman E. Carey Jr. was the pastor at the time. And actually, I was on the children's choir at the time. The people in the over the choir, they didn't even know that I could talk because I was so quiet. And then one day I just started singing in rehearsal, and they were trying to get me to lead I Believe I Can Fly. For the longest, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't say nothing. But this God is so good, because He spoke to me even at 4 years old. I was sitting at home on my computer, and I believe that I was singing that song at home, and God was like, "You're gonna do it by yourself. You're gonna go to that church and tell the lady that, which was the pastor's mom at the time." He said, "You're gonna go to church, tell the pastor's mom that you want to do it by yourself." And I went and I told her, "Hey, I want to sing I Believe I Can Fly, by myself." And she was like, "What? I didn't even know you could talk. You be so quiet." I said, "That's what God told me to do." And literally, I did it by myself that day. And I think, if not everybody, almost everybody in that church got saved. Everybody in that church was crying, shouting, just praising the Lord. I don't even think we ended up preaching. Pastor sent us home early, and from then on, um that's when my ministry really started. I knew I had purpose. But I used to, at a young age, always post on Facebook and stuff. And then years later, I got into, content creation and prayer and all that. But literally, I think everything intertwines together. Business, ministry, everything that I do, I just feel like it's all in one, if that makes sense.
Oh, it does. It does. But when you're walking in your purpose, everything kind of comes together for one purpose.
Yes.
So I absolutely I agree completely. So with all that being said, I ask this question a lot because everybody has different answers to this question. What
hmm
legacy do you hope to leave behind through your ministry, through your writing, and through your speaking?
Um, my ultimate goal, my legacy that I want to leave behind is, one thing I want to see souls saved. I want to see people delivered. I want to see people healed. I want to see people set free. And the legacy that I want to leave is also, there's no excuse why you can't be successful, no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're facing. If I can do it, you can do it. So get on up and do it.
He said, get on up and do it. But one of my favorite verses is, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens
Yes.
me. I didn't know the power in that verse until I started getting older and older and older. Then I realized,
Yes.
you can do anything you want to do. Everybody has the same 24 hours to do
Yes.
something. And if
Yes.
if God blesses us enough and gives us that grace and mercy every single day that He doesn't have to give to us, because we all know we all sometimes don't deserve to have that next day, but God still
Mhm.
gives it to us anyway to get it right.
Mhm.
I agree. We all can do it. Get up. If you
Yes. Amen.
if you get knocked down, just don't get knocked out. Get back up and do it
Yes.
again.
We fall down,
We get
but
up.
we get up.
That's it. So my last question, this is my least favorite part of the show. What part of your voice still surprises you when you speak?
I would say now my boldness, the way that I'm not afraid to, just my courage to do, to be, to say, it surprises me. And then my ability to do what I do in prayer and in business. Mind you, I went to college, but I don't have a degree. So the fact that God blesses me to be able to do everything that I'm able to do without a degree, without a college education is just amazing.
But you know what? You say that your voice surprises you because you keep speaking. But you know what happens when you walk in your purpose? It seems
Yes.
like everything just aligns. And then when you put God in the forefront of everything, it's even easier.
Yes.
Even easier. So I had people to say once I started podcasting, "Oh, Nikki, you're a little bit different now. You just speak."
Yes.
I don't know. It seems like my voice started to matter, and I started using it. And so it's
Right.
just different. Yeah, I was quiet, never really talked to anybody. Was quiet, but this microphone right here, and God makes everything just come together,
Right.
so I can understand. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pass the mic to you. I'm gonna do the countdown, and this is your time where you can tell everybody where to find your books, how to support you on your journey, whatever you want to tell them about you and the amazing things that you're doing, your nonprofit, how to support that as well. So after the countdown, everything is gonna be on you.
Okay.
All right. What's up, everybody? First, I- what's up, everybody? First, I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting Breaking the Silence. Because without you, none of this would be possible. None of it. See, Breaking the Silence started off with my voice, me coming out of my shell, me finding me, and doing something I should have done a long time ago. But then as time went by, I was like, you know what? There's some amazing people out here doing amazing things that I want to shine the light on. So that's why you are here. So thank you so much for being a part of Breaking the Silence and continuing to break the silence with me. But now I gotta ask you to do me a favor, real quick. Can you share this episode with somebody that resonates with, and make sure you do two more things: subscribe and turn your notifications on so you don't miss another episode. So let's get back into this episode.
Hey everybody. To keep up with me, please visit Brittany's Beads and Books.com for more information about books, beads, merch, speaking engagements as well. If you would like to connect with me on social media, follow me on Facebook at Brittany Thomas. Follow me on Instagram at author_Brittany Thomas 1196. I'm also on TikTok as well, every day praying. So follow me on TikTok at Brittany Thomas if you need some daily encouragement. And also, if you would like to donate, if you would like to partner with a nonprofit organization, please go and visit www.jetsangels.org and you will be blessed. You will be able to see about the vision, hear about all that God is doing. Stay connected. God bless you.
Well, thank you so much for coming and supporting my platform. We are locked in from here. If there's anything I can do on my end to further help you on your end with your books and anything you have going on your nonprofit, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and let's continue to break this out together.
Oh yes. Oh yes. And where else can the podcast like be viewed at?
YouTube, it's on all audio streaming platforms, iHeart, Spotify, Apple, Amazon. It's pretty much everywhere. But YouTube is
Okay.
my
Okay.
main.
How many views on average do you usually get?
To be honest, I told somebody just the other day, I don't really look at my views. I
Oh.
just I just highlight my guests. That's it. I said I don't really focus on that. Maybe I need to a little bit more, but I don't focus on it. I just interview these amazing people and try to get them out there to the world. That's it.
Oh, okay. All right.
But yeah, if there's anything that I can do on my end to further assist you on your end and your journey, please don't hesitate to reach out to me because we're locked in forever.
Thank you so much for having me. I will be actually in Chicago for the award show. Are you going or?
Mm, I told somebody the other day, I was like, God, it came up so quickly for me. I really want to go, but I'm right now I'm playing it by ear. I'm playing it by ear
Okay.
right now. So hopefully I can. We'll see. We'll see. I would love
Okay.
to meet you in
All right.
person. But
Thank
thank you
you.
again for being a guest and let's continue to break the silence together.
All righty. See you later.
Right, and thank you everybody else out there for tuning into this amazing episode. Y'all got to make sure y'all go support her journey as an author, these powerful stories. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Breaking the Silence. I hope today's conversation has reminded you that your voice still matters and your story can inspire others. So don't forget to subscribe, like this episode, and share it with somebody it resonates with. Keep speaking your truth, embracing your journey, and breaking the silence because what? The world needs who? You and your story. So until next time, y'all stay determined and stay focused. Later.
Better days, slowly but surely it's a better space that'll waste my mind, so I meditate till I levitate, I elevate, but I learn not to hesitate no more, keep moving forward, chase my goals and focus more towards it, hate the lows but I need those to flourish, place my goals in front, that's what's important. So I ask myself what inspires me, breaking out of my shell, feeling yo shot quiet me, and now I'm breaking the silence like I'm nicking the cold, let's go. Promise you gon' see better days. Gotta keep going till you see them. Promise you gon' see better days. You gotta keep going till you see them.